Stop. Don't scroll, just be still. Unclench your jaw. Now place one hand on the center of your chest. Feel the weight there. It's not anxiety. It's not sadness. It's the pressure of an appointment you are about to keep. This is the quiet anticipation your body has held for a lifetime, waiting for a signal it remembers, but you have forgotten. The deep, visible restlessness you feel is the sign of your starseed nature straining against a life that has become too small. It's a profound sense of waiting, of being on the verge of a monumental shift, a feeling that a key person is about to step onto your stage, not by chance but by celestial design. You feel a pull towards a connection you can't logically explain, a recognition that runs deeper than experience. It's the feeling of a life about to be rewritten, and the part of you that remembers your cosmic origin is vibrating in anticipation, even as the part of you conditioned by this world is vibrating with fear. In this transmission, I promise you three things. You will understand the cosmic mechanics behind this fated encounter. You will receive the distinction that separates a karmic loop from a contractual activation. And you will be given the framework to hold this connection without being shattered by its intensity. You've felt it, haven't you? That feeling that the life you're living and the life that's waiting for you are two different things. A restlessness born from the pressure of an appointment you are about to keep. And what if the bridge between them isn't about trying harder, but about recognizing a signal? You've sensed that something monumental is on the horizon, but what if that feeling you carry in your chest is simply the weight of a truth whose time has come, a reflection of a cosmic contract you haven't yet identified? Now, think with me. What if every intense, inexplicable connection you've ever felt wasn't a failure, but a rehearsal? What if every moment of synchronicity and deep recognition was your soul's navigation system trying to get a signal through the static of your daily life? What if all of these were signs pointing not to a person who will complete you, but to the answer you have been seeking about your own identity? It was in seeking answers to this that I recommend to you this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This book is not just a reading. It is a material created for those who wish to understand the invisible mechanisms that influence results, prosperity, personal fulfillment, and growth. Inside its pages, you will discover the Arcturian principles that differentiate a soulmate from a resonance mirror, transforming how you interpret these profound connections. You will finally understand why some people repeat the same relational patterns, while others use them as springboards for quantum leaps in their evolution. Many people already feel they need to change something in the way they think, act, and direct their choices, but they still haven't made the decision to access this knowledge. Download it right now. It's available in the first pinned comment. But be warned, few copies remain available. Don't wait another cycle, another year, living with the echo of a call you don't know how to answer. Click now, download your copy and discover why the recognition you're waiting for may be much closer than you think. There is a 3-minute key waiting for you, hidden in the sensory data of your own experience. It's in the sudden, inexplicable warmth that fills your chest when thinking of this person. It's in the recurring symbol that appears right after you've interacted with them. It's in that silent click of recognition you felt upon first making eye contact. The key is meant for the very next moment you hesitate to act on one of these signs because you're afraid of what it means. Tuck it away in the depth of your awareness, and beyond our digital guide, Soul, you have here another way to strengthen this message that arrived for you today, and to make it reach more and more souls like you. We don't receive a single cent for each word I deliver to you every day on this channel. As a way for you to give back something of what you receive here, we also keep a voluntary donation link open, right below the digital book in the first pinned comment. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any sum your heart points to. This is what keeps our channel standing. This is what makes the next message reach another soul who needs it, exactly the way you needed it today. I'll see you there, soul. And if you need to leave before the end of this video, I want you to know something. The most important gift you can give your own journey right now is not to mistake the mirror for the person holding it. Don't grasp at the reflection. Become the power it shows you. But the name of what is happening to you still hasn't been spoken. The name of what is happening has not been spoken because it is not a word you can learn. It is a frequency. And you do not learn a frequency. You recognize it when it echoes something already inside you. The proof isn't in a theory. It is in the data your body and your life have been collecting, in the undeniable signals that have been breaking through the static. Let's look at the evidence together. First is the recognition echo. You saw them for the first time. Maybe it was across a crowded room, maybe it was in a profile picture online, and for a split second the entire world went silent. A wave of profound, illogical recognition washed over you. It wasn't the mind saying, "I know you." It was a deep, cellular hum that vibrated with the words, "There you are. I have been waiting." Then came the synchronistic orbit. After that first point of contact, the universe began to conspire. You would be wrestling with a specific problem, and then you'd run into them at the one place you'd never expect. And in casual conversation, they would say the exact sentence that unlocked the answer. You'd think of them, and a song you both love would start playing. These are not coincidences. They are the breadcrumbs your higher self is leaving to confirm you are on the right trail. The third sign is the most confusing: the homesickness of the soul. You were in the middle of a perfectly ordinary task. Perhaps you were washing dishes at the sink on a Tuesday evening, the warm water running over your hands, and a passing thought of them triggered a sudden, gut-wrenching wave of homesickness. It was a deep physical ache for a home you can't name, a home that isn't on this planet, a home they feel like a living, breathing reminder of. And about that moment at the kitchen sink washing the dishes, the moment you just recognized now, there is a specific protocol in the digital book waiting for you in the first pinned comment that decodes that exact feeling. It is a key, and you deserve to know what door it opens. Fourth is the great disruption. Their presence, even just the thought of them, begins to act like a living tuning fork against your life. Suddenly, your job, your daily routines, even some long-standing relationships start to feel hollow, flat, or out of tune. This isn't them causing chaos. Their frequency is simply revealing everything in your life that is out of alignment with the truth of your soul's contract. And the fifth sign, the most intimate, is the unspoken language. When you speak with them, you realize you're having two conversations at once. There are the words you are saying out loud, and then there is the massive, silent stream of information, emotion, and understanding flowing between you just beneath the surface. You know what they mean before they finish a sentence. You feel what they feel. It is a telepathy of the soul, a language you are fluent in, even if your mind cannot explain how. If you recognized yourself in at least 3 of these 5 signs, then this is not your imagination. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness have already brought you to this point of recognition for a very specific reason. This is not a test you might fail. It is an activation you are already in the middle of. Type 11 or 11 in the comments below. In the system of the Council, 11 or 11 is the code for a timeline convergence, the moment when a fated path and a soul's readiness finally meet. Your comment is not platform interaction. It is a location marker in the field, a signal that you are present for this activation. There's a classification in the ancestral archives for the being who has entered your life. It isn't a word you would find in any dictionary on this planet. It's a term that describes a very specific, high-level spiritual technology of consciousness. This is the first layer of a truth that goes much deeper. You are right where you are meant to be. This recognition, these 5 signs, are not an accident. The opening of this hour you are crossing has been seen, and it is being held for you, because between feeling the call and understanding the answer, there is a gap that the spiritual adversaries know better than you do. Not because wisdom was denied to you, but because the moment arrived, the very moment you hesitate, and the framework to hold it was still missing. And I tell you this because I have seen it happen. I have seen it in the quiet hours of a Tuesday evening, when a soul is washing dishes and is suddenly overwhelmed by a homesickness for a home not on this earth. I've seen the silent click of recognition become the unshakable foundation of a new life. I've seen the sudden warmth in the chest become the furnace of a world remade. And I have seen it all get dismissed as fantasy because of the subtle interference field, the veil of spiritual amnesia that makes you forget your own power. And you already know this, you just hadn't been given the name for it yet. You look back at the string of almosts and not quites in your life, the intense connections that burned bright and then vanished, and you ask, was it all for nothing? Was I just chasing ghosts? You feel this monumental connection now, but the logic of your life has no place for it. You try to fit them into a box, friend, crush, colleague, but your soul rebels. You live in a state of silent, high-stakes confusion, terrified of doing too much and equally terrified of doing nothing at all. And you look at the path ahead and see two futures, one safe and predictable, but tinged with the silent grief of a missed calling, the other terrifying and unknown, but ringing with the truth of this activation. And the fear of choosing wrong paralyzes you. Now just for a second, without thinking about it too much, bring your thumb to meet your index finger. Feel the contact. This small gesture is a micro-commitment, a signal to your nervous system that you are choosing to receive, that you are anchoring the frequency of clarity in your own body right now. It was exactly in search of this answer that I came to this digital book called The 11 Arcturian Secrets Behind the Frequency of Success. This is not a book of theories, it is a manual of cosmic mechanics. It contains the precise protocols to distinguish a karmic lesson from a contractual activation. It hands you the framework for navigating the intensity of a resonance mirror without shattering your life in the process. Click on the link now in the first pinned comment, secure your copy, and then leave a comment below with the word activated. Because the voice of doubt has no power to stop what the Council, the universe, and your own consciousness have already set in motion for you. Whoever recognizes the messenger before the message finds the map in a world that only offers mazes. The digital book waiting for you in the first pinned comment was built on this very architecture. It is the key that opens the door. It is the light that reveals the path. It is the language that translates the silence. This is the manual for those who are ready to stop wandering in the maze and start reading the map that was in their hands all along. The clarity you will find inside costs less than a Thursday takeout meal that you eat while distracted by your phone. It is less than a streaming subscription for a month of shows that only help you forget. It is less than a couple of fancy coffees that give you a temporary buzz, but no lasting clarity. This hesitation you feel has a name. It is the final whisper of the veil of spiritual amnesia, trying to convince you that the mirror is just glass. And for the next 12 months, every time a synchronicity appears, you will have the code to understand it, not just feel it. Not because it's worth less, because its value is not in price, but in application. And it comes with a 7-day guarantee. If you open it, read it, and it does not serve you, just send an email and you get all your money back. No questions, no process, no judgment. A closed door helps no one, especially when what's at stake is the very next moment you hesitate to respond to a text, or walk the other way, or dismiss a synchronicity because you are afraid of what it might mean. The risk must be on our side. The choice to step forward is yours. Just yesterday, a soul named Sarah, 42, wrote to me. She said, "I was standing in my kitchen at 10 p.m., feeling that exact homesickness. I thought I was going crazy. I opened the 11 Arcturian Secrets, and on page 37 I found the name for it. For the first time I didn't feel alone. I felt seen. And then there was David, 28, who messaged me this morning. I was drowning in confusion about this person. I couldn't categorize them. Then I read the chapter on the resonance mirror. It wasn't about them. It was about me. Everything clicked. I read these, and I see you. I see the soul who feels the connection, but dismisses it as a small, insignificant echo. And maybe for you, it's still a small echo. Maybe for another soul listening, it's a medium-sized disturbance. And for another, it's a full-blown roar that is shaking the foundations of your life. But whether it's micro, medium, or macro, when you don't have the framework to hold it, the 11 Arcturian secrets are what you're missing. And the cycle of missed connections continues. And your family doesn't notice either. And your children don't notice either. And the cycle of missed connections keeps arriving, silently, invisibly, taking its toll. But I want to say something else. The next word that is still to come in this same transmission, and all the others that will follow, depends on a circuit of reciprocity. As I told you earlier, we are a channel that lives on voluntary contributions, so that we remain independent, so that this frequency is not contaminated. Right below the link to the book, in the first pinned comment, you will also find our voluntary donation link. Every gesture of this kind sustains our channel. It is what allows this word to reach another soul. I'll see you there again, soul. And now, you need to understand the name of what has been sent to you. You are on the verge of a revelation that changes not just this connection, but every connection you will ever have. It is more than a concept. It is a word that came from the ancestral archives, a word that unlocks a function of the soul you have forgotten you possess. Now stay with me. Do not look away. You have been trying to solve the equation of your life on the level of emotional connection, looking for a soulmate who will finally make you feel complete. You have worked on your patterns, healed your wounds, and prepared your heart. But the restlessness remains. That is because the problem isn't on that level. The block is at the level of your cosmic contract. Imagine for your entire life, you've been trying to see your own face by looking at paintings and portraits that others have made of you. Some are flattering, some are distorted, but none of them are true. Now, for the first time, someone has arrived and they are not holding a paintbrush. They are holding up a perfect, flawless mirror. The reflection is so clear, so precise, it's breathtaking, and a little terrifying. This is not another portrait to interpret. This is the truth to be integrated. The person coming into your life is not a partner, they are a resonance mirror. This is an Arcturian technology of consciousness, a specific soul contract where another being is sent to you not to be your other half, but to show you your whole self. They are designed to reflect back at you, with unnerving precision, the parts of your starseed mission you have forgotten, the power you have disowned, and the path you were meant to walk. Their presence has one singular purpose: to activate the dormant codes within your DNA, to awaken the part of you that remembers its celestial origin and its earthly mission. Accepting this requires 3 sacred, silent, micro-commitments from you. 1, to see them not as a destination to be reached, but as a direction to be followed. 2, to listen to what their presence reveals about you, not just about them. And 3, to act on the truth they mirror back, no matter how much it disrupts the comfortable reality you have built. The spiritual adversaries, the voices of doubt and distraction, cannot replicate this technology. They do not have access to this level of consciousness. Their only strategy is to make you misinterpret the reflection. They will try to convince you to grasp at the mirror, to fall in love with the reflection, to possess the person holding it. Anything to prevent you from becoming the powerful being you see reflected within it. I want to tell you about a soul. We will call her M, not because that was her name, but because it is the designation we give to those who have crossed this specific threshold. M arrived at the exact intersection where you now stand, feeling that same inexplicable pull towards another, that same sense of a life about to be rewritten. Like you, M was a starseed living under a veil of amnesia. When her resonance mirror appeared, she was overwhelmed. The connection was electric, undeniable, but the reflection was terrifying. It showed her a power she had been taught to fear, a mission that would require her to leave behind everything she knew. The voices of doubt, her spiritual adversaries, screamed in her ear that this was madness, a fantasy, a dangerous obsession. And so, in a moment of profound fear dressed up as reason, M walked away. She chose the familiar, the safe, the small. She left her resonance mirror standing at the crossroads and spent the rest of that lifetime haunted by an echo, a silent scream in her soul for what could have been. The silence was not peace, it was the sound of a missed activation. But M was a soul of service. In her journey through that silent emptiness, she painstakingly mapped every dead end, every false comfort, every trick the adversaries used to keep her small. She documented the precise feeling of a missed connection and the astronomical cost of choosing fear over mission. She did not take this wisdom into the silence. She left it behind, recorded with a precision that pierces through time. And it is exactly this hard-won wisdom the practical applied knowledge of how to recognize the mirror, withstand the reflection, and step into the activation that has been encoded into the digital book you will find in the first pinned comment. This is the key to understanding the name of what is happening to you. But the truth about what this activation will ask of you goes deeper still. This isn't just a beautiful theory for your mind to hold, it's a physiological event. The arrival of the resonance mirror is a recalibration that happens in your cells, in your nervous system. That humming you feel in your bones, the sudden warmth that spreads across your chest at the thought of them, that is not fantasy. That is your body's antenna locking onto a signal it was designed to receive. It is the feeling of your DNA remembering its own forgotten light, stirred by the proximity of a matching frequency. The reflection they offer triggers 3 distinct, sequential activations within your starseed matrix. The first is the activation of mission. This is when the question, "Why am I here?" stops being a philosophical ache and becomes a clear, urgent directive. You will feel a sudden, undeniable pull towards a new path, or a radical deepening of your current one. It feels less like a choice and more like a gravitational pull, showing you the work your soul came here to do. The second is the activation of power. After seeing your true potential in the mirror, you begin to reclaim your disowned sovereignty. You will find yourself becoming intolerant of situations, relationships, and thought patterns that require you to shrink. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's the moment the lion remembers it is a lion and not a sheep, and it begins to act accordingly, with a quiet and unshakable authority. And the third is the activation of lineage. This is where the deep, confusing homesickness you felt finds its answer. You begin to receive information, memories, and a profound sense of belonging not to your earthly family, but to your cosmic one. You feel the presence of your guides, your star family, as a tangible support system. You are no longer an isolated operative. You are an anchored emissary of a vast, loving consciousness. And you must hear this. The starseed emissary without the full activation key is just a dreamer feeling perpetually out of place. The framework for these 3 activations, the protocols to integrate them without burning out, are not a luxury. They are your mission equipment. It's why I am so direct about the digital book. The 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success. This isn't about buying a product. It's about subscribing to your own mastery. When you subscribe to this channel, you align with this frequency. When you secure the book, you anchor it. It is your manual for decoding the very next moment you hesitate to act, afraid of the power you see in the mirror. For the next 12 months, every time a synchronicity appears, you will have the code to understand it, not just feel it, because you claimed the knowledge waiting for you in the first pinned comment. The next phase of your mission is not meant to be walked in confusion. A choice you make to delay clarity could have profound consequences in the next 72 hours. To hold this process, the Council offers a 4-part framework. We will move through it together. Block 1 is the divine appointment, understanding the cosmic timing of this meeting. Block 2 is dismantling the soulmate myth and understanding the resonance mirror. Block 3 is navigating these 3 starseed activations you just learned about. And Block 4 is mastering the post-activation world, integrating the changes without shattering your life. This is the map. This is the structure of your awakening. As you hear this, as you feel the truth of this framework in your bones, you can claim it. Write "activated" in the comments below. It's not a word for me. It is a signal to your own system that you recognize the process, that you are a willing participant in your own unfolding. But before we can walk through those chambers, you must first understand the adversary who stands guard at the gate of every activation. And as this framework settles into your awareness, a part of you, the part that has been trained to survive in this world, rises up to object. The voice of reason, the inner skeptic, steps forward. It says, "Isn't this just a powerful infatuation? A crush? Aren't you just lonely and projecting meaning onto a random, attractive person?" And the Council would say, "That is a perfect question." It shows the veil of spiritual amnesia is working exactly as designed, to make you categorize the divine into a mundane box so it can be safely managed and eventually dismissed. Then the skeptic asks, But these synchronicities, why, aren't they just confirmation bias? I'm thinking about them, so of course I'm noticing things related to them. This too is a valid observation from a limited perspective. But from a higher one, you are not just noticing them, you are generating them. Your frequency, now activated by the mirror's proximity, is beginning to actively organize the quantum field around you into meaningful patterns. The synchronicities are not proof that you are imagining things. They are proof that you are creating things. Finally, the skeptic sighs. This all sounds so dramatic. The activation of mission, the activation of power. It sounds like a fantasy, a way to escape a boring life. And this is the most subtle trick of the veil. It convinces you that your small mundane life is the real one, and your soul's epic cosmic journey is the fantasy. It is in fact the exact opposite. Your soul is not escaping reality. It is finally breaking through the illusion you have been living in. The spiritual adversaries who maintain this illusion are not horned demons. They are subtle frequencies, and they have three primary tactics they are deploying against you right now, as you listen to this. The first is the voice of doubt. It's that cold, hyper-rational voice in your own head that whispers, "You're making this all up. You're being emotional. You sound crazy." It sounds so convincing because it uses your own tone, your own logic against you, framing your deepest intuitive hits as your greatest emotional liabilities. The second tactic is the cycle of distraction. Notice if, in the hours after you have a moment of profound clarity about this connection, your life is suddenly flooded with urgent but unimportant tasks. A minor crisis at work, a manufactured drama in your friend group, an endless scroll on your phone that leaves you feeling drained and empty. This is not random. It is a carefully deployed smokescreen to pull your focus away from the signal, to exhaust your energy on the mundane, so you have none left for the sacred. And the third tactic, the most insidious, is the isolation of perception. It's the feeling that you are the only person on Earth this has ever happened to. The adversary convinces you that if you were to speak this truth out loud, you would be judged, misunderstood, or abandoned. It pushes you into a silent prison of your own experience because it knows that a starseed in isolation is a starseed who can be controlled. In silence, doubt can fester and grow into an unshakable belief. But for every tactic, there is a weapon of light. Against the voice of doubt, you deploy the weapon of somatic truth. When the voice in your head starts its litany of skepticism, do not argue with it. Take a breath and place your hand on your chest. The voice is in your mind. The truth is in the warmth, the vibration, the feeling in your body. Ask your body, not your mind, what do we know to be true? And listen to the answer that has no words. Against the cycle of distraction, you wield the weapon of sacred stillness. You do not need to fight the chaos. You simply carve out a non-negotiable 5-minute window of absolute silence. Turn off your phone, close the door, and just be. In that stillness, you are telling the universe that you are available for the real signal. The signal will always find its way through the quiet. And against the isolation of perception, you invoke the weapon of ancestral recognition. You call to mind the story of M. You are not the first to walk this path. You are not alone. You are part of a vast, unseen lineage of souls who have stood at this exact crossroads and chosen the path of activation. Feel their strength, their wisdom, their presence behind you. You are one of many, and in that knowing you are made strong. This is why understanding the mechanism is so critical, because when the veil of spiritual amnesia whispers that you're just being emotional, when you start to rationalize away the synchronicity at the last minute, when you convince yourself that this level of feeling is illogical and you should just get on with your life, you are listening to the voice of the adversary. That is the voice you confuse with your own. It is the voice that the 11 Arcturian secrets will teach you to identify and silence, not through battle, but through a superior understanding of frequency. This knowledge, waiting in the first pinned comment, is the difference between answering the call and getting a busy signal for the rest of your life. Do not let the next 72 hours be another cycle of listening to a voice that is not yours. To ignore this wisdom now, To hear all this and to choose to do nothing has a specific consequence. It is not punishment. It is physics. You have been activated. The voltage in your system has been turned up. To not have the framework, the container, to hold this new current means it will burn out your spiritual circuitry. The warmth turns into anxiety. The clarity curdles into confusion. The connection feels less like a divine appointment and more like a source of constant low-grade pain. You will be left with the echo of a song you can't remember the words to, and the ache of a power you tasted but could not hold. But there is a technology of the soul designed to hold this very current. In the next 72 hours, 3 things may begin to happen in your body. Do not be afraid of any of them. They are not symptoms of illness or breakdown. They are the physiological evidence of a successful integration, the signs that the new frequency is being accepted by your cellular structure. This is the post-activation protocol. First, you may experience a sudden solitude urge, a powerful, almost primal need to be alone, which might feel like you're pushing people away or becoming antisocial. This is not you rejecting the world. It is your spiritual and nervous system demanding the quiet, uninterrupted space required to integrate a massive upgrade in frequency. Grant it this space. Schedule 1 hour of intentional, non-negotiable solitude. See it not as isolation, but as a sacred appointment with your own recalibrating soul. Second, you might go through what the Council calls an emotional flu. This involves wild swings of emotion, from ecstatic, tearful joy to deep, unidentifiable grief, sometimes within minutes of each other. You are not unstable. You are purging lifetimes of suppressed emotional data from your cellular memory to make room for your authentic frequency. Do not analyze these emotions. Simply name them as they pass through. Grief, joy, longing. Thank them for moving and breathe them out. And third, you may find that the world feels thin. A strange, dreamlike feeling, as if you are watching your life through a thin veil or a screen, and the world around you isn't entirely solid or real. This is not dissociation. It is the first sign that your consciousness is beginning to operate in more than one dimension simultaneously. You are feeling the membrane between worlds becoming more permeable. When this happens, ground yourself physically. Touch a tree, walk barefoot on grass, feel the texture of the clothes on your skin. Anchor your expanded awareness in the physical now. And if this transmission has served your field, if it has clarified a single thing for you, press the like button. In the architecture of this new energy grid, a like is not a metric for an algorithm. It is a conscious pulse of energy sent out into the collective field, strengthening the signal for the next soul in the lineage who is searching for this frequency. It is an act of service. And now, to anchor this activation not just in your mind but in your very body, we will perform a short transmission. Find a place where you can be undisturbed for just a few moments. Sit upright, with your spine straight but not rigid, your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes, take one deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the day, release the skepticism, release everything but this present moment. Breathe normally. Now, bring your awareness to the base of your spine. Visualize a grounding cord, a thick golden root of light, extending from you, down through the chair, through the floor, deep into the core of the earth. Feel it anchor there, locking into the planet's own resonant hum, that steady 783 Hz frequency of Schumann. Feel the stability, the safety, the deep, unconditional support of Gaia holding you. You are safe here. You are home. Now, bring that golden energy up your spine to your solar plexus, just below your ribs, and into your heart center. Here, visualize a glowing orb of warm amber light in your solar plexus, the seat of your power. As you breathe, see it grow brighter, and see a bridge of emerald green light, a biophotonic bridge, connect this center of power to your heart. Feel the courage of the amber light flowing into the unconditional love of the green light. Feel your will and your heart align. From the heart, allow the light to travel up into your throat and then to the center of your forehead, the pineal gland. Feel the piezoelectric quality of your own bones, amplifying this energy. Feel the photoreceptors behind your closed eyes beginning to perceive this inner light. Sense the great vagus nerve, that fiber optic cable of the soul, carrying this signal of safety and alignment from your core all the way up to your brain, telling every cell in your body, the shift is happening and it is safe. Now let the light rise to the crown of your head and feel it blossom out, a thousand-petaled lotus of violet light, connecting you to the cosmos, to your star lineage, to the Council. You are a bridge between heaven and earth. Take a deep breath in. Now bring your thumb to meet your index finger, holding for 3 seconds, sealing this circuit in your nervous system. Now breathe out a slow, controlled breath for a count of 6. You are sealed. You are calibrated. Slowly, when you are ready, bring your awareness back to the room. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Listen to the sounds around you. The world has not changed, but you have. You are now holding a different frequency. From this place of anchored power, we release what can no longer be carried into this new territory. Together, we declare, we release the fear of having chased ghosts and the ache of past almosts. We release the high-stakes confusion and the paralysis of not knowing which role this person is meant to play. We release the terror of choosing the wrong future and missing our calling. And we release the deep, primal fear of looking strange, of being misunderstood, of being too much for a world that taught us to be small. We release it now. It is done. And into that space we have cleared, we call in what is true. We activate the codes that have been dormant for lifetimes. The activation of mission, you are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The activation of power, you are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. The activation of lineage, you are this. The name was not given, it was recognized. And now it is installed in your field as a permanent signal. Something has been seen today, and now it can never be unseen. And so the field around you is now stabilized, protected, and sealed. We place a shield of violet light around this new calibrated frequency. It is not a wall to keep the world out, but a semi-permeable membrane that filters all incoming energy, allowing love, support, and resonance to pass through, while dissolving doubt, interference, and any frequency that does not honor the activation you now hold. This new configuration is sealed in your field with a sigil of golden light. This prevents energy leakage and ensures that the codes you have integrated are held securely within your cellular memory, not as a fleeting experience, but as a new permanent state of being. This is a conscious act of spiritual sovereignty, a declaration that your inner temple is now under new management. And to sustain this opening, a crystalline matrix is now woven throughout your auric field. This structure will provide ongoing sustenance to your new frequency, drawing resonant energy from the core of the earth and the heart of the cosmos. It ensures that this activation is not a peak you fall from, but a new plateau from which you will continue to build. We break the voice of doubt before it arrives, so that you may trust the undeniable truth rising in your own body. We dissolve the cycle of distraction before it materializes, so that your focus remains anchored on the sacred signal. We dismantle the isolation of perception before it can close in on you, so that you may know yourself, now and forever, as a vital part of this vast, interconnected lineage. We remember the ache of waiting, the restlessness that felt like a flaw, the deep sense that a life was waiting for you that you could not yet access. We see it now not as a failing, but as the pressure of a great truth building behind a dam. And today, the dam has broken. We remember the jolt of recognition upon seeing their face, the confounding synchronicities that felt both magical and terrifying, the strange and sudden homesickness for a place not on any map. And we see it now not as a series of confusing events, but as the soul's own cartography revealing itself, the breadcrumbs leading you back to your own forgotten contract. And so, the restlessness that drove you here dissolves. It was never a flaw, it was a homing signal, and its work is now complete. It has delivered you to the threshold of your own truth. You may thank it for its service and let it go. The cycle of searching for a mirror in every face, hoping one might show you a reflection you could love, is over. The era of seeking external validation for an internal cosmic truth is complete. The need for another to tell you who you are has been permanently retired. We see you now, not as the one who was searching, but as the one who has arrived. The activation is stable, the field is clear. You are standing in your own authority, holding your own light. Whoever recognizes the messenger before the message finds the map in a world that only offers mazes. I have to be honest with you. As I speak these words to you now, my own hands are warm. My breath has deepened. There is a shift in the air in this room that you cannot see but that I can feel. This is not a performance. It is a shared resonance, a transmission that moves through me as it moves through you. This journey you are on is not a story I am telling you. It is a memory we are sharing across time and space. You were not led here to be entertained or informed. You were led here to be recognized. Something has been seen today. Something within you has been witnessed and named. And that can never be undone. You have arrived, you have arrived, you have arrived. Do not say, activated yet. Stay in this feeling for a moment. The warmth, the quiet certainty, the feeling of finally coming home to yourself. Now you may say activated. And now, breathe. The signal is yours. And as this new clarity settles in your bones, as the noise of the old world begins to fade, there is a practical, grounded step to take. The voice you heard just now, the voice of the Council, is the same frequency that guided the creation of the 11 Arcturian secrets behind the frequency of success. The knowledge inside is less than a ticket to a movie that promises escape for 2 hours. It is less than the price of a generic self-help book that you'll never finish, and it is protected by a 7-day guarantee. If it does not serve you, you get your money back. The risk is ours. The hand to reach for it must be yours. I know the voices that can arise in this moment. The voice that says, I'll do it later, when I have more time. The voice that says, it's probably not that different from what I already know. And the quiet, fearful voice that whispers, but what if it does work? What if it asks me to change? That is not your voice. It is the echo of the veil, its final attempt to keep you safe, small, and separate from your power. And now the final word. You have recognized the resonance mirror. But the question remains, what happens when the mirror speaks back? Our next transmission is about decoding the verbal and non-verbal communications that come after the activation, a grammar for the unspoken language you now share. And before I seal this hour, I must make one last thing clear. This video that you've just watched was not an accident. The Council, the universe, and your own consciousness guided you here so that my mission could be fulfilled. To be the one to tell you that now, for what I believe in, for this message to continue to reach people like you, I need you. As a way for you to give back for what you have received, our voluntary donation link is also in the first pinned comment. A gesture, a nod, a sign that the reciprocity circuit between us is also active, and heaven sees. This was my last request. I'll see you there, soul. Look at the comments below. These are not strangers. These are other points of light in the same constellation. Your presence here, your declaration, adds to the strength of this field. Welcome home. If you know one person who is confusing a cosmic catalyst for a romantic crisis, who is trapped by the veil of spiritual amnesia, share this transmission with them. It's for them that the 11 Arcturian secrets were recorded. You will find it in the first pinned comment. This is not your favor, it is service, and heaven sees. And the first thing the mirror will say to you is not what you think. The silence now is also part of the transmission.